Once upon a time, in a quiet mountain town nestled beside a clear blue river, there lived a young woman named Mai. She was gentle, reserved, and happiest when surrounded by books. Her mother owned a small second-hand bookstore, and Mai spent most of her days there, tucked behind the counter, lost in pages of old novels or sketching in her worn notebook. To her, the outside world seemed distant and overwhelming. The bookstore, with its scent of paper and ink, was her sanctuary. One spring afternoon, as golden light poured through the dusty windows, the little bell above the door chimed. A young man stepped inside, tall and lean, carrying a weathered backpack. His name was Nam, a university student of architecture visiting town to see his grandmother. He smiled politely and asked, "Do you have any books on old architecture? Something about traditional houses, maybe?" Mai, startled by the warmth of his voice, nodded and quickly searched the shelves. She handed him a thick volume, its spine cracked with age. When their eyes met, Mai's heart skipped unexpectedly. Nam's smile was bright yet soft, and she looked away almost instantly, embarrassed by the sudden rush of heat to her cheeks. From that day, Nam returned often. At first, he bought books, then he stayed longer, leaning against the counter, asking questions, sharing stories about the city and his studies. He spoke with excitement about his dream to design buildings that blended history with modern beauty. And slowly, gently, Mai found herself opening up too. She told him about her sketches, her love for quiet corners, her fears of never belonging anywhere outside the little town. One evening, when the shop had just closed, they sat outside together. Nam leafed through her sketchbook, his eyes wide with admiration. "These are amazing, Mai. You notice details no one else sees." "They're nothing special," she whispered, embarrassed. "No," he said firmly, meeting her gaze. "They're extraordinary. You're extraordinary." Something shifted in Mai's heart that night. She began waiting for the sound of the bell above the door. For his voice, for his laughter. She loved the way his eyes lit up when he spoke of his dreams. The way he listened so intently as if her words truly mattered. But with love came doubt. Why would someone like him ever notice someone like me? She thought. One summer night, they walked by the river. The moonlight shimmered on the water, and Mai's hands trembled. Gathering her courage, she whispered, "Nam, I think I've fallen in love with you." For a moment, silence hung heavy in the air. Mai's chest tightened, bracing for rejection. But then Nam reached for her hand, his touch gentle. "I was hoping you'd say that," he murmured, "because I love you too." Tears stung her eyes as he kissed her under the silver moonlight. In that instant, the quiet bookstore girl felt her world open wide, as if she could finally step beyond the boundaries she had built around herself. Their love blossomed quickly. They strolled through the market together, shared ice cream on hot afternoons, sketched buildings side by side, whispered secrets in the dim light of the shop. For the first time, Mai's life was filled with laughter, warmth, and dreams that seemed within reach. But happiness is fragile. One evening, Nam arrived with shadows in his eyes. My father has a new job. We're moving abroad. I'll be leaving in a month." The words hit her like a storm. "So soon?" she whispered, her voice breaking. Nam pulled her close. "I don't want to go. But I have no choice. Please believe me when I say this isn't the end. I'll come back, all right, no matter the distance. I won't forget us." In the weeks that followed, every moment became precious. They watched sunsets from the bookstore window, carved their initials on the old bench by the river, even danced in the summer rain just to freeze the memory in their hearts. Every kiss, every laugh, was painted with both joy and sorrow, because they knew time was slipping away. The day of parting arrived too soon. At the bus station, Mai clung to him, tears streaming down her face. Nam whispered hoarsely, "I'll find my way back to you. I promise." She nodded, choking back sobs, her fingers tightening on his shirt as if letting go would mean losing him forever. Their final kiss was desperate, trembling with unspoken words. Then the bus pulled away, leaving Mai standing on the pavement, her heart shattering with every turn of the wheels. The weeks after his departure were unbearable. Mai wandered the bookstore like a ghost, waiting for letters that didn't come, replaying memories that felt both close and impossibly far. Time moved on, as it always does. Seasons change. She painted her grief into sketches, filled journals with unsent words, and slowly learned how to breathe without him. Years passed. Life in the little town stayed the same. Yet Mai had changed. She was stronger, quieter, carrying a love that never faded. And though she never spoke of it, she often wondered, where was Nam now? Did he remember her, as she remembered him? One autumn afternoon, as she wandered into a large bookstore in the city, her eyes fell on a familiar name printed across the cover of a best-selling novel. Nam. Her hands trembled as she picked it up. The title alone made her heart pound. She bought the book and hurried home, clutching it as though it might vanish. That night, she opened the pages. With every line, every scene, her breath caught. It was their story, her sketches, their riverside walks, their laughter in the rain, woven into fiction but unmistakably theirs. Nam had written it all. Every moment, every promise, every heartbreak. Tears blurred the words, but Mai smiled through them. He had not forgotten. Somewhere, across oceans and years, his heart had still been tied to hers. The story in her hands was a letter, one that had taken years to reach her. She closed the book, pressed it against her chest, and whispered into the quiet night, "I'll never forget you, Nam. You'll always be my first love." And though distance still stretched between them, Mai finally understood. Some love stories are not meant to fade. They live on, in books, in memories, and in hearts that never let go.